Whoa, Nelly, this ain't no party, this ain't no disco, and as sure as hell ain't no fooling around. It is the hardest part of the ring, talking about the 2021 July 18th Money in the Bank. I promise we'll do the theme song at the end of the show, but I want to get right into this bad boy. Oh my goodness, was this a load of fun. Over the weekend, as you know, we'll do business at the end of the thing as well before the theme song, I promise. Let's just jump right into the wrestling today. As you know, over the weekend, you probably heard SmackDown had their first live show, which I think was in Houston, Texas. That's a state where the pandemic wasn't real, I guess. And so they did that, and everyone loved it. Of course, again, Vince McMahon steals the opening pop for himself. I really do hate that. I'm not even kidding. I passionately hate the fact that he did that. But everyone had a great time, and every wrestler got great reactions and all that good stuff. And tonight was no exception. This is in Fort Worth, which I don't know how close that is near Dallas. Maybe it's really close to Dallas. It's probably near the Dallas airport, I believe. There was a pre-show match. There was at least one of them. If there was two of them, I missed one. But the Usos wrestled the Mysterios. All the O's, all the Cheerios, all the Eskimos, the Weirdos, Wackos, Sickos, Psychos, Nymphos, Pornos, Pyro, every kind of O there is. All the Oreos, all the different O's. They got into the ring and wrestled for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. We have new champions. The Usos naturally defeated the Mysterios. A really cool spot where Rey Mysterio went to do the 619 on Jay, and I think Jimmy threw himself in the way. And eventually they defeated Rey Mysterio. Did they roll him up or did they hit a splash on him? I think he kicked out of the splash. That's what I thought the finish was. And then there was a big splash on Rey, and then blah 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 blah. Anyway, we kind of knew that was coming. The Usos and Roman Reigns are going to just dominate SmackDown even further. And they did that thing I hate, and I am going to complain about it every time. I don't care. It's the hardest part of the ring, damn it. It's my thing. They tell you what the first match is going to be before the actual show happens. In this case, it's the Women's Money in the Bank. It makes perfect sense that one of the latter things is first. So then they'll do the first ladder, and then the second ladder will be the ladder. So the first ladder is the former, and the second ladder is the ladder. You understand. And his show opens with Hulk Hogan slamming onto the Giant, as it always does. I don't even know what's in the rest of that open. I've said that 96 times, I guess. This is the episode 96, the hardest part of the ring, I think. I have no idea what's in the rest of that. I think it's probably like Brett. I'm sure Taker, Cena, Austin Rock, and I think the fabulous sex trafficker or whatever her name was is in there somewhere. So all these people are in the open, but it's only like 30 seconds. Anyway, there's a bunch of entrances. In this order, Alexa Bliss, who I thought got a lackluster reaction, but then she ripped her skirt off to reveal she's going to wrestle in tights, and that got a reaction. I'm not sure it got a reaction for the reason they wanted. Liv Morgan also got a good reaction as Nikki. I guess it's not Nikki A.S.H, it's literally Nikki A.S.H, which is really hard to say. I'm going to go with Nikki. Then Natalia, and then Tamina, then Zelina, and then Naomi and Asuka. Naomi and Asuka also got very good reactions as well. Asuka was really another huge MVP of the Thunderdome era. Or at least the first half of the COVID era when there was no Thunderdome. I think that era was a little more entertaining, but oh well. Alexa Bliss was getting some cheers. Um, this is one of those things. I thought it ended a little out of nowhere. Natalya and Tamina are really there. They're not there to win it. They're already the tag team champions. I mean, I really think. I actually thought it was going to be only Natalya. I didn't know Tamina was in the thing. To be honest with you, why would I lie to you? I wouldn't lie to you, Bob Squad. I'm a lot of things, but I'm an honest man, Bob Squad. I thought Natalya was just in it, like you put a veteran in it so that it goes right, so that someone can direct traffic a bit, which I'm sure there was a lot of that going on. You can't really tell unless you're in the match. Everybody thinks they know, but you don't really know unless you're one of them in a match. But I think it's a pretty safe, educated guess that Natalia was steering a lot and doing some traffic directing in there, and Tamina as well. There was some odd stuff in there with Tamina too. Like it looked like Asuka was waiting on her and just started punching her. Or there's some odd stuff. Zelina and Alexa they had to do a hypnosis spot. I guess Vince thinks this is good. I can't imagine a whole building full of people thinking it's good. It's got to be Vince. There's no way. I'm gonna have more faith in the rest of the crew than that. And people booed it. The Zelina got hypnotized at the top of, of the ladder by Alexa Bliss and got back down. Yeah, someone had to bite the bullet and do that bullshit, so I guess Zelina would be the only one untouched, or and Liv, I guess, untouched from that kind of nonsense. So they welcome back. And what else happens? Oh, Nikki Cross. Damn, I'm going to keep saying Nikki Cross for a while. Nikki jumps off the ladder, which was a little wobbly. No one's really holding it, so she did the best she can do with it. And everyone stood around and watched her and did the tumble, and okay. Okie dokie. That's fine, I guess. Nikki Cross, Nikki Ash, DC. Nikki wins the thing kind of out of nowhere. There were like 6 women climbing up the ladders. I think they put a bunch. They had to put like 9 ladders on top of Alexa Bliss to bury this 95-pound, 5-foot tall person. So that was kind of preposterous. And the other 6 are just scrambling around on 3 ladders, 2 on each, back and forth, kind of swatting at it. And then Nikki runs up and swipes the thing, and then there you go. And we cut right to Nikki. So Nikki Ash. I'm going to go with Nikki Ash for the rest of this. Nikki wins the thing, and Nikki can cash in on whoever the Raw or SmackDown Women's Champion is. As we know, is Bianca, definitely for SmackDown, because Bianca defeated Carmella. And yada, yada, yada. We'll get to the Raw Women's Championship later. Oh, no. We have a promo that thinks DUIs are hilarious coming right up. So they did that to us. So basically, it was Roman congratulating, but also talking down to the Usos at the same time for winning the titles. Little backstage skit. Paul Heyman's in the back making faces. And then Roman says, I think it was in Jimmy's direction. He chews out Jay for a while and then says, Jimmy and you, and then doesn't say anything. And Jimmy just kind of looks at the camera, and he doesn't I don't think he literally winks, but he might as well have figuratively winked. He could even tiddly winked if he wanted to. And then I heard laughs in the back, like from the like, oh, that's hilarious. Just keeps driving drunk. Keep him away from. Did I say keep him away from Shotzi's tank yet? And I probably did. I probably made that joke already. Oh well, they'll probably make it too. And if they do, I'm gonna be angry. It cost somebody. The Viking guys wrestle AJ and Omos for the Raw. I usually take notes on these pay-per-view events or whatever they are of what time it is when the first bell rings, because we start, of course, before the women's Money in the Bank. It's a long ass package. They had a package. It wasn't just hyping up the women's ladder match. It was they hyped up every match on a show and in my time zone it's 5 p.m. So let's replace it with whatever time it starts for you. So at 5 p.m. when a thing starts, 8 p.m. Eastern, we've just seen at least an hour pre-show, whatever it is. And again, only so the last 20 minutes, I went to Rubio's, got some fish tacos and some chips. They're really good. Had some Pepsi Blue, which is very refreshing. I go to Pepsi.com. Okay, screw that. So I'm enjoying myself, and I just watched that. But yeah, we had to rehype every match and show, I'm sure, the same video package they just showed for an hour at the beginning of the goddamn event. Like, why? I hate it. I'm going to say this 19 times throughout this podcast today. The only real heel in WWE is WWE. The company is the only heel that anyone actually hates. Because every time we cheer for these baby faces, whether it's Kofi or Daniel Bryan or CM Punk, when we cheer for those type of baby faces, those guys we actually want to win, what are we really cheering for? Are we cheering for them to beat the Ortons and Brocks and Lashley's and etc. and Brawns, etc.? Are we really cheering for our heroes to beat those guys? We're cheering for them to beat the company. The only heel in WWE is WWE. I'm going to say that a few more times throughout the day. So we make fun of the DUIs, and the Vikings at 5:43, the second bell rings. So 43 minutes into the show, the bell for the second match rings. I know one of them's a ladder thing, but that could have happened 15 minutes earlier. Oh, the Vikings had a little trouble moving Omos around, getting him to do what he had to do. Eventually, Omos pins Eric. AJ was bumping, of course, because who else is going to be? But AJ was great here. Crowd was great here. Problem is the crowd loved AJ. I mean, that's not really the problem with the match. I don't think it made much of a difference. But an Irish guy is talking to Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre shits on fairy tales and the Thunderdome, which I thought was hilarious. Drew gets booed at the beginning of his conversation with the Irish guy a bit. And he kind of just like smirked and was like, "Yeah, I knew that was coming." There was kind of like that vibe, like, "Yeah, okay." And then he shot on the Thunderdome and like, "We like you again." So that was very smart. Kofi and Bobby both have a long package each. They just have long, huge, dangling packages. Oh my goodness. This is so perfect, especially for the Bob Squad. Kofi Kingston, I'm gonna find that. I'm gonna use that as a picture for this. Kofi Kingston dresses up in his Skeletor gear. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? He's got the light blue and the purple vest hanging over. And usually New Day uses the unicorn as their symbol or their animal, so he has a yellow Skeletor like drawn skull with the unicorn thing sticking out of it, so there's no doubt. And New Day is written on his buttocks in the He-Man font. So clearly it was 100% Skeletor. And Corey Graves said something about Castle Grayskull and having the power. I missed it, but he just hit the main beats. Nothing too specific right there. Awesome. Awesome to see a random Masters of the Universe representation on WWE. So perfect. And you'd think we'd actually have more of them because they've had those toys out for a year or two, those crossovers, those Masters of the Universe WWE crossovers. You'd think we would have seen a bit more of that, but we never really did. It was just this weird thing that existed on its own. They never really acknowledged it. I guess they still haven't. But Skeletor always loses because that's what happened next. So Bobby Lashley kicks the shit out of him for 6-7 minutes. I think Kofi scored no offensive moves, like none. He got out of or was let out of maybe the big full Nelson tossed around. He got hit with 3 of those Dominator moves Lashley used to do back in 06, 07. And then I think he got put in that full Nelson, the Lashley lock or the Hurt lock, and that was the end of that. So Kofi got no offense, but he got dominated just like he did with Brock, except this was instead of 8 seconds, it was 6 or 7 minutes. Yeah. Does Vince hate baby faces? Like what? The only heel in WWE is WWE. Because I don't think anyone hates Lashley. He's winning clean. He's not cheating. There's no reason to boo him. What is he really doing? He even got rid of the thing with the ladies and the parties and this, that, and the other thing. So really, he's a babyface. Oh, MVP is the heel. So what do we care that Kofi finally gets one over on Bobby? Really, doesn't Bobby took advantage and beat up Woods in that Hell in a Cell? But okay, Woods got his win back with the roll up out of nowhere last week. I think it was last week. So I don't know, but good thing this was in the middle because this match was not a main event. It should not have been the main event. Bobby wins the things. Oh, forgive me. The women's Money in the Ladder match, Money in the whatever, the ladder thing. It gets 16,000 stars. Do not question the system. The Vikings versus AJ and Omos gets 15,999 stars. Do not question the system, please. And Kofi Kingston versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE Heavyweight Championship gets 16,001 stars. How about that? What happens next? Rhea and Charlotte have long packages as well. This was an interesting match because they were having trouble. And there's nothing wrong with starting. There's everything right about starting slow and building. Like I hate when people make a criticism. Oh, I love that Shawn Michaels Kurt Angle match, but they kind of started slow. Well, no shit. They're building to something. They're getting there. Edge and Roman did it expertly later on, and Roman, most of his matches that he's been doing, like the first couple he had with Jey Uso, especially that first one, not the Cell, but the one before it, they really was a class in that. But Rhea and Charlotte, they were having trouble. There was a "We Want Becky" chant that was loud and audible. Peacock censors this. I guess Charlotte did like a suck it and a big middle finger too, but Peacock just went black, which is like, it's very annoying because fucking Peacock. I know you have movies on your goddamn network that have whatever in them, but they're movies and it's not wrestling, so it's okay. And I'm sure there's worse stuff probably said on The Office anyway. You got like a lady like who just randomly is naked all the time on in a fucking office, but it's the nerdy improv assholes, you know, yelling at you that they're funny down your throat. So, like, come on. I thought that was just really, really silly. Peacock was not our friend today. Oh, we'll get to that. We will get to that. But they censored that, but they didn't censor it long enough. So the whole screen went black. So they guess they just didn't know, and somebody panicked or whatever the fuck. But the black went away too early, and you could still see the middle fingers. Like, okay, it's a fucking pay-per-view. Part of the fun of a pay-per-view live is that really, in a way, anything can happen. That was at least the fun of it growing up. Stuff used to be fun. Remember He-Man? Kofi Kingston does. Maybe should have worn He-Man gear. Charlotte and Becky, or Charlotte and Rhea are having a rough time. Like I've been saying, Charlotte is 100% heel, and Rhea's been like 90% heel. So we're only cheering for 10% of Rhea Ripley. So I don't fucking know. And Rhea's trying to fire up here and there, but it got him going. Unfortunately for Rhea, what got him going was Charlotte's athleticism, which is great. Except she's the heel, she's doing cool shit. There's no reason to be cheering Rhea Ripley in this unless you just happen on this night alone, based on just what's happening tonight. And even in the last month, there's no reason to actually be cheering Rhea Ripley. A lot of us are cheering her because we just happen to like her and we remember the UK matches with Toni Storm, etc., etc., and the NXT stuff with Shayna Baszler. So that's why we're cheering her. We're cheering her for that. We're not cheering her for right now. We're cheering her because we want her to do the thing that the company isn't doing with her. Again, the biggest heel is the company. But Charlotte does the big moonsault to the outside, and Rhea doesn't have anything. She has more harder hitting stuff, so it's different. So it's not as flashy as Charlotte, and Rhea got him back with a impressive like standing vertical suplex, where she clearly had to muscle Charlotte up a little bit. And so the two biggest pops of the match were the heel. This is a lesson for everybody, and a reminder for me too. The biggest pops of the match were the heel acting like a heel, telling the people to go fuck off, and the babyface doing something physically impressive that's real or looks real, whatever. Um, that's the way it's supposed to be. We're impressed by baby faces, their heart, their abilities, their talent, but most of all, their heart and their character is the most important thing. And any cool stuff they can do is all icing on the cake. Whereas AEW, it's all icing, it's no cake, it's just a big pile of icing. And that sounds great if you're 8, but as time goes on in life, you want substance. You just can't lick frosting all day. You want a fucking meal when you become an adult. That's the best I've ever phrased that. Oh, look at me go. I am so sweaty right now. It's going to be a hard summer recording anything because I have to close all my windows and kill my only fan. And I do live next to Mexico, by the way, so I'm hurting a little bit. So if I get a little distracted, forgive me. I'm trying to stay focused. Charlotte wins the thing by tapping out the theoretical babyface. Vince loves heels winning clean. He just hates babyfaces. He hates happiness. He hates feel-good stories. Just these are the stars, and they're bad people, and they win, and fuck you, making billions. Vince is the only heel. Charlotte wins the thing back, which I'm fine with. Good matches. Thing is, she's going to be involved in the whole picture anyway, so let someone chase her. Let someone win it back, maybe. Maybe she just loses it back at SummerSlam to Rhea or somebody else. Or Nikki does a fast one on her with the briefcase, and Charlotte can be mad at the indignant Nikki. Because it looks like they're all very high on Nikki. I mean, clearly, she just won the freaking thing. Then for 2 seconds, we see Nakamura, Rick Boogs, and Riddle about to do something interesting and fun, and Peacock fucks everyone over. And my thing did a bunch of stuttering for like a minute and then went black for a long time. And a lot of people just had a bunch of stuttering and didn't go black, but whatever. Peacock is down. Twitter is angry. People are angry. It's a shit service. I've looked through Peacock and tried to watch other stuff. I mean, again, I'm only paying $5 a month, so like it's like whatever for just the WWE stuff. I mean, we were already paying 10 for just that. But I think most of us would rather just pay the 10 and have this shit work and not go through the aggravation. But everyone's upset, including Mark Henry. He's very angry. He's a Peacock. But eventually, I saw some tweets, and a kind person sent me a message as well. Just restart it, and the thing was a little fuzzy for a second, and then it worked again. The ladder match was already underway. I don't know how much of it I missed. I'm gonna go back and see. I had no idea, but I know we had to sit through like 6 or 7 entrances, maybe 8 entrances, which is good, I guess. It's a good time for it to go out. But this is a fun, hard-hitting match. Not a big surprise here. Drew did a lot of ass kicking, and Drew was getting cheered. I thought they were going to boo him out of the building. They liked him. He was kicking ass. He insulted the Thunderdome earlier on. Remember that? Makes perfect sense. Jinder's 2 big bad guys, and Jinder himself pulled Drew out and hit him with some chairs. It's pretty much exactly what I think we all thought was going to happen in some form or fashion. Jinder's going to fuck Drew, and this will be Drew's keep him busy feud, while he can't challenge for the title or whatever the hell. Keep Drew busy. So, there you go. Not a big surprise, but he did like a double Claymore onto, I think, Riddle and Ricochet. Weird alliance with Seth and John Morrison. Johnny Drip Drip was, oh my god, they were so happy with the dripstick. During the pre-show, Miz wheeled out and Morrison came out, and people went bananas. Morrison was one of the biggest baby faces of the night. Riddle did the RKO was one of the most over moves, and Randy Orton was never there to do it. Riddle was there. The people were big on Riddle. They were big on Big E. But I think with Big E is that a bunch of them, I'm 100% one of them, more than anyone else in the match. And I think a lot of people felt the same way. We wanted Big E to win, and we didn't think he would. It was we already knew it was kind of our wishful thinking, like, he might be a little close, but he's not winning it. They just don't feel the way about him that we do. But after a bunch of cool stuff, Ricochet takes a backdrop on a ladder. Ricochet got knocked off of a ladder, lands on a top rope, bounces off, does a big flip, and of course 5 guys catch him, but whatever. I'll forgive that one because the spectacle was just so extreme. At one point, he even walks from the top turnbuckle across the top rope, like tightrope walks it, because the ladder's too far away, and jumps onto the ladder to go back and forth with I don't know who. I bet you it was Riddle, and then they went to that other spot I just mentioned from there. That's probably what they did. I forget. Very sweaty. Sweaty man. It's the only podcast you need a shower after. Holy balls, guys. But Big E grabs Seth off one of the ladders and does his finish, and then he climbs up, and Big E I fucked it up for him. Big E grabs the briefcase, and will be a Money in the Bank contender. Money in Bank champion, or whatever fuck, he'll cash it in. Will he be successful? I don't know. But man, I think people were happy. People were cheering and jumping up in the air, because again, they wanted him to win. They didn't think he would. They felt he deserved it. Big E teased it. He already made eyeballs at Paul Heyman last Friday. And I was saying on one of these things, I thought the natural progression of Bobby going through Woods and Kofi, of course, wouldn't make sense if Big E won the thing and Big E showed up on Raw as where I thought it was going to go. It still may. He's only had it for a few hours. I don't know the answer, but very excited to see that. Seth Rollins is backstage. He's very upset about not winning the thing, and he's mad that the Edge is getting a shot that he's not. If that wasn't clear foreshadowing, then Edge is a huge package, and Roman Reigns is a huge package, smacking us on the shoulder, bouncing off of our chin, just rubbing up against us. These big, giant, thick, meaty, blue-veined packages they keep throwing at us. Yeah, what happened? Am I still recording? I guess so. Edge and Roman Edge gets a crazy, crazy reaction. A huge pop at the "You Think You Know Me" part of his song. People went banana. And this is a classic example of everyone is on board. They're taking their time. Taking their sweet time. Man, this thing went like 40-some minutes, I think. This is very long. The whole pay-per-view was like 3.5 hours. This probably could have been shortened a bit, but man, they did a big stare down. People were still hot for it. The shoulder tackle, all the eye contact after, all the good stuff took their sweet time. Big back and forth. I'm not going to do the match move for move. It's just a clinic in good pro wrestling and how pro wrestling is designed to work and how to hook people. And yeah, there are clips of this match, especially the first half, where I know a lot of modern fans would look at it and go, "Well, that's boring. They're just sitting there. He just did one move. He just did they're just sitting there." Yeah, they're selling. They're making you care, and they're sucking people in. Um, a little off note, a little tangent. I wonder how long, for how many months, this goodwill of live crowds being first live crowds back will last. If they're going to if they're going to become cynical pricks again. I was talking about this with a bunch of stand-up comedians over the weekend as I was performing at the Madhouse in San Diego, telling the jokes at the Gaslamp downtown district for those of you local. And I was wondering, well, for these live crowds, when are they going to, like I said, when are they going to be cynical pricks again? I bet you we have more time. Originally, I was a cynical prick, and I'm like, in 2 months, they're going to be the same assholes they always were. And they might be. A lot of people don't stop being assholes just because there's any kind of big situation or global pandemic or whatnot. They just were assholes before, they were assholes during, and they'll be assholes when it's over. But with wrestling, because like stand-up comedy in front of 100 people or whatever, those people they're coming to see a thing. They're not coming to see TV stars or whatever. I think with wrestling, these are celebrities that, especially wrestling fans who even go to these things like once a year. When if you live in like a major city, at least like once a year, you sometimes twice you go to these wrestling shows. I think now with being starved, I think the wrestlers will probably get used to it pretty quick. They're the ones who will be getting used to it in a month or two. Oh, okay, we do this again. But for the next 6 months or so, until when everyone's had the wrestling come to their town at least once, every crowd will be awesome and amazing. I'm going to be optimistic here and say it's actually going to be really awesome to be a live crowd for a while. I have no idea when they can go out of the States and over in Europe or any of those European tours. I would not be surprised if that Saudi bullshit happens no matter what. Just because I know the company, and again, the biggest heel is the company. So I'm really liking the shows and hating the company more than ever at the same time. I don't know how that's possible. Edge and Roman have a wonderful back and forth match. They do bump the referee. They break the referee's knee or something, which is different than the old knockout. You bump him in the shoulder, he's unconscious for 5 minutes. So they bust up Charles Robinson's knee. This is where shit got silly because there's no officials in a serious championship match. Wouldn't referees be not immediately out there, but within a minute? Like you should have another referee out there doing the sprint. Instead, the Usos run out and the Mysterios stop them. But everyone, their mother knows if they couldn't telegraph it anymore, they had Seth and Edge jaw jack back and forth on the SmackDown. And they had Seth complain about this right before this match started. I mean, come on, guys. I thought that was a little silly. I thought that was too much. That promo shouldn't have happened. But anyway, Seth. This is exactly what Roman did with Cesaro, and then Seth was there at the end or whatever. But anyway, Seth beats up Edge, and then there's a bit of back and forth. And then they do. This is wonderful because there was a big tease. I thought it was over. Roman goes for the big spear, even though they were booing him the entire match. They did the big ooh ah with them, the whole crowd. It was kind of ass backwards, but it worked. It was just too much fun. People were having fun. Is the biggest thing that comes across on the screen, even if they're not always booing and cheering who we tell them to. But then again, they're just booing a company. Roman goes for his spear, and Edge hits his spear. Beautiful. And that's where you do that false pin, that 1-2. Everyone counts along 1-2-3, but there's no ref, and they could like count to 10 or whatever. Roman kicks out anyway after the 2. I don't know if that was a mistake or a minor fuck you to I'm not gonna let people. I'm being a little paranoid, but was it a little bit of a minor fuck you to I'm not even gonna let people think you beat me with your finish. But anyway, he does kick out, and I think it was Corey who starts to call it and then doesn't, and they just stop talking about it. And then another referee runs out, 1-2 kick out. Okay. So right away we know. And I think Edge got hit with a spear shortly after that. Oh yeah, because Seth Rollins jumps on a ring apron. This is the hardest part of the ring, if you didn't know. He gets booted off by Edge. Spear by Roman. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Buggy, blah blah. Oh, I said the other guy's line. Forgive me. What happens there? So Seth is beating up Edge, and he stares down Roman for a bit, which is exactly what they did with Cesaro. But then Edge fires back. Well, he pulls Seth out, and Edge brawls with Seth, and he basically fights him to the back. He does one of those. Hey, it's great that we're doing live shows. Do we have to throw the two sweaty wrestlers in with the unmasked people right away on first pay-per-view back from pandemic? Can we have waited maybe a little bit longer to do the in-crowd shit? Maybe just count our blessings that we can go up and down the ramp and all that shit. No, we just have to. We had to jump right into the fucking crowd. Holy Christ, come on, guys. But they needed to do what they needed to do. Paul Heyman hands Roman Reigns a microphone, as you already know what's going to happen. And what a wonderful. Roman Reigns says, acknowledge me, something, something, something. I don't know what the fuck. He just says like one thing. And thankfully, our Peacock miseries are all forgotten because the talk of the town is, and just like with Big E's win, they got me. John Cena's back. You can't see him, but yes, you can. You can't see him on Peacock because the fucking network goes out. But John Cena's back. He says nothing. He does his hand symbol in front of Roman Reigns' face. He has a towel that says never give up. And I could use a towel right now, and that towel hopefully doesn't give up because I'm a sweaty mess. Wow, what a surprise. I think it's an obvious. I think Cena Roman SummerSlam is the obvious deduction here. I don't think I'm being too ludicrous with that suggestion. That's what SummerSlam is going to be, and clearly going to be the main event. Roman is clearly the main event of the two champions. I mean, come on now. Sorry, but Lashley and Kofi just doesn't compare to this at all. There's no comparison right now. Roman Reigns is the main event, hands down, no matter what he does. And you have to be. I love Big E, but it's almost like Big E isn't a big enough star to wrestle him. I mean, neither was Cesaro in a way. I mean, I don't know. It's a tough one. Who was the last one? Oh, that's when he was supposed to have. He was supposed to fight Ray at the thing, but he didn't. It was on TV. That was the other one. Okay, so even still, I love Rey Mysterio. I mean, he's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer. Does he? Like, no one's a big enough star to wrestle. Who the hell's a big enough star to wrestle Roman Reigns? Well, John Cena definitely is, but like we're running out. So, I mean, there's rumors of Goldberg. I guess I think it's pretty obvious. I think Goldberg's coming back. That's pretty much what everyone's hell bent on going with. That's just one of those cat out of the bag things, I guess. So I'm assuming by process of elimination, Goldberg and Lashley. Is that where we're going? I would only want Goldberg to beat Lashley if Big E cashes in on Goldberg and we have that big slapping man meat thing, as Lashley once mentioned. But I don't know. It's gonna be stupid because Goldberg's gonna like not facially sell anything Lashley's done, and Goldberg probably hasn't watched 1 second of the product since whenever we saw him last, which was in the Rumble against Drew. But can't wait for him to get booed out of the building. Oh, and now he won't because I said that. Egg on my face. Yes, John Cena and Roman Reigns. What a wacky, wild, wonderful surprise. This show felt like a SummerSlam. It really did. Hope that continues. We'll complete the trifecta. We're gonna have I'm assuming Raw is in front of people now. Thunderdome's over, right? We did the tape one, yeah. So I won't see that till Tuesday morning. I'm gonna watch that as fast as I possibly can and try to get the hardest part of the ring up for you. What was my original point? Did I have any business to take care of before I wrap this up? We did not forget about Beach Town. If you follow our Beach Town podcast, follow it on Podomatic.com. Find Beach Town. Follow Twitter at Beach Town Comedy or the YouTube channel on Beach Town. Yes, our mental health entertainment podcast does still exist. Jesse was on vacation. He was away with the fiance for a little bit. So we're recording that tomorrow. So that is going to happen, and stay tuned for that because I think I'm going to give you an added bonus too because we are a little again behind on a schedule. So I'm going to try to throw you a little something extra in the Beach Town world. So if you are subscribed, stay subscribed, and if you aren't, find Beach Town Comedy on YouTube and subscribe to that because that'll be a fun time. Whatever you do, you're going over the top rope. You want to have your left hand in a supine position grabbing the top rope, and your right hand in a pronated position. Am I getting specific? Yes, I am. Hey, I'm a wild Samoan graduate, goddammit. With your pronated right hand, you reach down over for the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you go over the top rope and you bang your head on the ring apron. Don't do that. That's when you feel like a big dope. Because they're the worst bumps you can be taking. Oh, it's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you reach out for the hot tag. And you go ahead and make your own comeback. Don't do that. That's when you should quit wrestling. And you're better off rolling in thumbtacks. AEW, the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Okay, sometimes you're distracting the referee. And the babyface has your wrestler pinned. Then you get punched to the ring apron. And you realize all the trouble you're in. Because it's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Now double claps. Let's go, Bob Squad. We ain't done yet. It's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da. Ba-da-ba-da.